Think different, live different. B180.
B180.
And we have a very special feature show. Today, we are joined by Owen and Jordan. Now, Owen and Jordan, you might know them by their band name. Owen is Nitro X and Jordan is known as J Steph. Now, these guys are amazing singers, songwriters and producers. Jordan is from the States, from Nashville, and Owen is from Canada, as you'll be able to tell from his accent. Now, Owen, we caught up with you about 2 years ago, which is such a long time now. You've come a long way. You've been working on a lot of stuff. We see your name pop up all the time with other artists. But firstly, can you guys introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself. We'll start with you, Owen, or should I say Nitro X?
Yeah. So I'm the producer for Blvrs. And I've been producing for a little while now, since I was like 13. I really got into it. And, I started playing drums when I was a very little kid, and that really got me into the whole production side of things. I think was when I got some of my dad's equipment. He had like some stuff laying around, so I got into all that when I was pretty young, pretty blessed to have that opportunity. And then I really just started falling in love with it. And so I do client work as well. Producing other people's music, mixing and mastering, and then obviously I have my own Nitro X project that I release music on there too, just as the producer. But yeah, it's probably a bit about me.
Amazing. And J Steph or Jordan, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do in the band?
Yeah, so I am overall, I guess you could say, the singer and songwriter. Owen, crafts everything, and then I write to it, and then I'm the vocalist on it. Owen makes me sound good. So that's nice. But yeah, I have some of my own projects, and Owen and I have worked together before on actually both of them. So it's the joke with my friends who I am today because of all the different things I have my hands in. But I started off on GarageBand and just gave myself the nickname J Steph. It's a combination of my first and last name, Jordan Stevens. So that ended up just becoming my nickname. And so most people everywhere, like Nashville, college, wherever I was, that's what I've been called. But I also recently have started a project called Jordan Blaine, and that Blaine is my middle name. And it's more of like a passion project. And yeah, there's a whole thing behind each project, but doing Blvrs is cool because it's getting to bring a fresh vibe that I think so many people are trying to bring, to Christian music, like getting to do that side of things where it's straight up worship music, and I don't know, it's very personal to people. It's cool getting to see like the different aspects of how I've been able to work in the music world for my own music, and getting to do this duo with Owen. It's just been a lot of fun. So I feel like I'm always up to something, doing something with music, and this has been one of my, probably the highlight of my year with music has been working on this Blvrs project.
Wow, that's a pretty big compliment, Owen.
yeah, it's honestly same thing. I could say definitely been like the highlight of my year musically. Like I haven't done a ton on Nitro X. I think I've only released like 3 singles compared to other years. And I mean, I've had way more time on my hands since graduating. So it's been really cool to like have that consistent kind of release schedule, doing it once a month, and like always being able to like bouncing ideas off each other and growing the brand and the songs. So yeah, no, I definitely feel the same. It's definitely been a highlight for me this year.
Oh, so cool. I don't know how you guys do it, both being in completely different countries. I want to know how you even got together. How is Blvrs formed? We're going to chat to them on the way. At B180 right across Australia, Mel with you today, and joined by the guys from Blvrs, Owen and Jordan. You may know Owen as Nitro X and Jordan as J Steph. They have formed a band called Blvrs, even though they're both in completely different countries. We're chatting to Owen from Canada and chatting to Jordan from Nashville in the States. Guys, how was Blvrs formed when you're not even in the same country? That's what I want to know.
Basically how I met Owen, first of all, he had I don't know if he had just fully begun production, or I think he had just done the name Nitro X, and was added into the Matthew Parker special group chat on Instagram where he sends all of his tracks and stuff to all these people who are like big fans of his. And Matt and I have been good friends for a while. And so anyways, I was in there and this Nitro X kid is in there too. And Matt, after a while of him being in there, probably at like 3 weeks, a month, something, he's like, Jordan, you need to follow Owen because he's good and he's going to be like really good. So you need to follow him. I'm like, okay, Matt. All right. I'll follow him. So I followed him. And then Owen hit me up to work on a song, and we ended up making one back in 2021 called Get This Right, which was the first time we collaborated. And then we did another one the year after, just again, kind of just as a collaborative thing. Owen had something, and we just did one called More Than Life. And just found a flow working together. And I'll let Owen take over the rest of it because I feel like you tell this part better than I do with how Blvrs came to be.
Yeah, so I mean, we saw like More Than Life start to do pretty well. I know you guys have been playing that one on your station and whatnot, and we even saw like it was kind of, for me, it was a big increase in like radios playing my music. It was the first song where I feel like a bunch of stations started to catch on. Jordan hit me up, was like, hey, what if we make this something regular, even more regular? What if we did a duo thing? And so I was like, yeah, let's do it. I think it would be really cool. And especially for me, just being a producer, like I was talking about before, the one thing I love about doing Blvrs is that we get that consistent collaboration with one another. And I think for me, it's a little bit tricky in today's day and age when it's like, you gotta drop music constantly to really be growing. Yeah. And so I think for me on my side, it's tricky to find vocalists and work together and get everything set up to be dropping super consistently. And then obviously like for Jordan, like you got to be paying for production and stuff. So it's like we're benefiting each other so much by partnering because we're able to take care of the thing that the other person can't do. And then hopefully build and grow and, be able to release more. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. We started brainstorming a bunch of names and we settled on Blvrs, took out the vowels to be really trendy. I don't know if that's working, but we thought, this is really cool because it's like the name kind of encapsulates what we're really going for. And we want to create music that's for Blvrs, not only for Blvrs, but even, those who don't know Jesus to be able to listen to the music and hear what we're about, right, as Christians. And so we feel like it was kind of a cool way to encapsulate everything about the brand and stuff. So, Yeah,
cool. You guys have done an amazing job, and I'd love to know, how do you actually put a song together? Like, how does that work creatively in different countries? We're going to continue chatting with Jordan and Owen, Nitro X and J Steph. Special features show today when we catch up with the guys from Blvrs.
And I need you to steady me when I'm losing my stability. Let me see that even though
Continue our chat with Owen, who's Nitro X, Jordan, who is J Steph, both being in completely different countries. Owen is in Canada, J Steph in Nashville, where all the artists are. I'd love to know, guys, how do you work? Like, how do you put a song together when you work in different countries and you don't even get to see each other?
Yeah, I'd say it's just a lot of back and forth. We are like, okay, we'll get this to you tomorrow, or if you send this to me by this time, I can get it to you by this time. So does it always happen like that? Not at all. There have been plenty of times. What'd you say, Owen?
Speaking of that, today is 2 hours late.
We also have, there'll just be things that come up, where we'll have, especially on my end, this is a different topic, but when it comes to writing songs, I'm not one who forces things. So I try to be mindful of, deadlines, if we want to call it that, because we don't like necessarily set deadlines. There, like for the EP, there was, because I ended up being out of town for a long time, so I made a deadline for myself. But I try not to force creativity. I try to let it come naturally, and if I'm not feeling inspired on a song, I want to make sure that it just comes naturally, and that the Lord works through what I'm saying, and I'm not just manufacturing it, if that makes sense. And so with Owen and I, it's good because we have that balance where we go back and forth with, the details, and we kind of have a workflow. Like, he'll send me something or send me a few different options of instrumentals, and then I'll start writing just what I think works, especially if there's one that really is sticking out to me. And sometimes, like I said, it just, I forget which song it was, but there was a beat in there for a while, and I just sat on it because I had melodies. I'm like, these just aren't, I don't know. And finally I got one that I was like, okay, I think it's this one, and I sent it to Owen. And then I always get Owen's approval first. I always send him a video of what I have before I try to do anything final vocal wise or like good vocals. I say, what do you think of this? And then if he's like, oh, that's great, then I'm like, okay, I'll get it to you by tomorrow, like something, or at least a draft vocal by tonight, something along those lines. So it's just a lot of touch and go, back and forth, but we make it work.
Isn't that so cool that, like, with technology these days, nothing holds you back. You can be on the other side of the world and you can still form a band. I think that is so awesome. We're going to check out some music from Blvrs, and we'll continue our chat from the guys. Of course, they've just brought out their very first debut album, Behind the Scenes. We're going to find out more about that. Your Saturday simulcast, living different right across Australia. Mel keeping your company today at V180, and joined by Jordan and Owen all the way from Nashville and Canada. See if you can pick the accent. It is so great to chat to you guys. Nitro X, you would know Owen as, and J Steph is Jordan. Now, these guys are amazing producers, singers and songwriters in their own right. They've joined together to form a band called Blvrs, and you guys have just dropped your latest EP, Behind the Scenes. It's finally out. All your hard work has paid off. How are you feeling now that it's out in the open for everyone to hear?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll go first on this, and then Jordan, you can jump in. But I think for me, like I've looked back at the projects. I'm funny when it comes to my own music that I create, where I almost can't listen to it for a little while.
Yeah.
I needed like a break from it, especially being the producer. I listen to like 10 seconds of it over and over and over again, and then I hate it. But like even now, I just this past week listened to the EP the whole way through. I think for the first time, I was like, this is like really, really good. I think it's probably, I could say for sure, my favorite music I've ever made in my life.
Awesome.
Without a doubt. Like, for me, it's just that combo of like, it feels like I've been able to put all my latest skills, whether that's mixing ability, production skills, all together at once, at one time, like with where I'm at right now. Because it feels like some of my really good songs, stream-wise, there's been so many things that I was learning and growing back then when I released those songs that I would do differently now. And I think it was cool just to see like that culmination of my skill set. And then, Jordan's writing was just phenomenal on the whole thing. And I really do love the song. So, yeah.
How about you, Jordan?
On my end, I would say similar to Owen, just whenever we would get a song, like kind of going back to what I was saying about not wanting to manufacture something, getting songs that were just like what I wanted to listen to. That was the point, is not, first of all, writing worshipful songs that speak about the Lord, something about the Lord and about our relationship with Him. That was the important part, but also making it fun, making it something that people wanted to listen to, that I wanted to listen to. So if it didn't sound like that, then in my mind, not like what was the point of putting it out, but I just wanted to challenge myself to find things that I would want to listen to on repeat. So that's kind of where I'm at with after it's come out. Very excited, very I'm very proud of how it turned out. I really challenged myself in the writing side of things. Yeah, I'm very proud of it. And so definitely excited to see what the Lord does through it. It's only been out, almost 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So excited to see where the Lord takes it over the next few months and see what else we come up with.
Oh, we're loving it at the moment, and we're going to play one of the tracks from your album, In Your Arms, coming up. So we're going to chat to you a little bit more about that on the way. Joined today by the guys from the band Blvrs. You probably know them as Nitro X and J Steph, or Owen and Jordan. These guys are joining us from Canada and Nashville. So great to chat to you on the show. Of course, we were talking about your latest EP. You've just released it a few weeks ago, called Behind the Scenes. One of your tracks on the album that we're loving at V180 is called Into Your Arms. Can you tell us the inspo behind this one?
Into Your Arms, I came up with the chord progression just playing it on the keys, on that synth sound, so you can hear in the intro. And I really love the progression, so I wrote a little thing to it and sent it to Jordan. We ended up keeping the pre-chorus melody from that original idea, and then Jordan eventually just wrote some stuff to it. And I really love how that one turned out. I think it's a cool blend of sounds. Our goal and direction is to kind of move more into that Christian pop space. You know, I have obviously that EDM kind of root, and I think it's cool to transition a little bit more into that pop sound. So I think if any of the songs on the EP, like especially Into Your Arms, is kind of like that bass song for our future direction, I think. So yeah. Jordan, I'll let you speak, I guess, on the writing a little bit more, but
yeah. So on the writing side, just again, I'm a big picture person, so I like looking at everything I write as a story and like what is the story behind all these songs. So the whole idea behind the EP was about the Lord being with us behind the scenes in every aspect of life. Into Your Arms was the last one that I wrote from it, and we were trying to figure out, first of all, where's this going to go on the EP? Like what is it going to say? And one thing that I felt was very important for us to say, we've talked about how the Lord's with us in the title track, Behind the Scenes, and you know how He's with us forever, and like nothing we could do would ever turn Him away, like themes like that. But I felt like it was important to talk about the Lord being a stronghold for us. And there's actually some verses that we base that song off of in Psalms 9 that talk about how He's a stronghold for those who are oppressed and those who put their trust in Him. And the whole EP talks about, you know, God is faithful, and so we can put our faith and our trust in Him. So that was the heart behind the song. Like, I know that when I struggle through life, like, it's okay. And it's falling is something that is like kind of a free fall. It's very scary to do, but we know that the Lord's going to be there to catch us and hold us and protect us during those times through every circumstance we go through in life. So that was the heart behind it.
Love
yeah,
it.
even to jump in on the lyric side of things, like, I think one of my favorite parts about it is the one line that when I'm facing every enemy, stand with me. I think it's really cool because it reflects, like, when I think about the Psalms and how the whole EP is about the Psalms, that's something David, like, says a lot, because when he's, you know, like, running from King Saul and stuff and all his enemies, and that the Lord is just standing with him and fighting for him. I think that it's really cool. That line encapsulates a lot of that song for me. And even just the whole EP. And then, you know, if I fall, you're the one standing against my enemies. So I'm going to just fall into your arms. And I know that you will hold me and you will take care of me no matter what I'm facing. And like enemies, whether that is whatever in your life, right? And so I think I just wanted to point that out, how that's kind of a big connection to the EP with like the Psalms and stuff.
Yeah, love that. So let's have a listen right now. Blvrs, Into Your Arms, Living Different at V180. And a very special show today as we chat to Owen and Jordan, the guys from the band Blvrs. I'd love to hear a little bit more about your songs' ups and downs. You've got a few posts on your social media. I love the behind-the-scenes shoot of what a film clip really looks like. But you've done a great job. I'd love to hear a little bit more about that track, Ups and Downs.
Yeah, Jordan, you want to jump in first on this one?
Yeah, Ups and Downs is just fun. I don't really know. It was, again, one of those where it started off like, okay, I got to find something that will work. But I just had that melody. With the ups and downs. I just had that in my head, and I kept singing it like, oh, this could be so cool. But I just couldn't find the right words for it. So it was not a melody thing. It was more like, okay, how can I say this without it being cringy and like weird and dumb? And we did make it more of a fun one to where it is a little bit more lighthearted. So I just had to not think as, or be as picky with the lyrics and just write what came naturally and still find a way to be creative. So, Owen sent that through. It was a pretty, very inspired by Forrest Frank, that type of vibe, very feel good, happy.
Love it.
And so, yeah, that was just on my side, writing about how, again, the Lord's with us through the hills and valleys, the highs and lows of life, and nothing scares him away. And yeah, he's with us in our victories and our losses, and he's faithful through all that. So that was the mindset behind it. And yeah, Owen killed the production, made it even way more interesting, and he even had some vocal parts on that song.
Whoa.
Right, Owen? You want to jump in?
Yeah, we got the gang vocals in the ups. So I did a bunch of gang vocals on it in the background. But like, man, I thank you, Jordan, for like complimenting the production, because like, I'm not gonna lie, like that one was probably the hardest for me. It was definitely something that like I had never really done before, like that sound. So it was a lot of work, I feel like, to get it to the point where I was like, okay, I'm liking this. Cause when we started, I wasn't sure like about the beat. I felt like I couldn't get quite the right sound, cause we didn't want to totally sound like we're copying like Forrest Frank. We want to make it our own. And so I think it was a lot of work to try and envision that and turn that song into a Blvrs track that I felt like also had our sound, really had our sound in it. And so like in the end, I'm really happy with how it turned out. And yeah, I just think it's such a fun track. And yeah, Jordan said it went crazy on his summer tour.
So good. Let's have a listen right now. It's Blvrs with Ups and Downs, living different, right here at V180 for your Saturday simulcast.
You said you're with me in the ups and downs.
Joined by the guys from Blvrs, Nitro X, J Steph, or you may know them as Owen and Jordan. So great to chat to you guys. Thank you so much for joining us at weird times from different parts of the world. But before you go, I'd love to know what's next for Blvrs. You've just put out your EP. You're kind of just getting started. What do you got planned for the next year?
I think for us, this coming year, it's just we're going to be independent for the foreseeable future for the singles. So we're just going to start trying to drop left and right as much as we can. It might be a little bit of dead space at the start, just as we continue to build our catalog. And so we can drop pretty consistently this coming year. But yeah, we're looking to have this be a year where we can really build on where we started. And that's why we really wanted to start with Anthem in collaboration with them and the EP launch to kind of give us a good kickstart into consistently releasing music and see where it all goes. And hopefully I'll be making another trip down to Nashville in the near future so we can get some more content and all that. But yeah. Yeah,
and then we're gonna kidnap him when he does that. And he can't go back, and he's forced to make more beats.
I feel like he's going to move to Nashville at some point. Like every artist ends up moving to Nashville, so you never know.
Oh, we're trying.
It's in the goals. So Lord willing, I'll be able to be there, and we'll be able to be close proximity and making more music. So
yeah, and I think one of the goals for us next year too is to I honestly, we've talked about it, collaboration, starting to do more with Blvrs, because this whole thing, it was self-written, self-produced, just me and Owen. No one else was involved with any of the process. And so this next year, maybe starting to get a few more people involved, reaching out to other artists and using, I think that's the coolest thing about overall just the independent art, or even just the music scene now, but especially independent artists, it's very easy to collaborate and to help build on with each other. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's just a lot of fun. So I'd love to see what we can do with that, and just where we go. We have a few different vibes that we are thinking about chasing. I think that's also fun is we feel like we found the stuff that works, but still always looking to do something new. So we'll see how much it is, like how much of each that is. But yeah, it'll be a lot of fun, and looking forward to getting more music out there for sure.
Yeah, I think it's time we can flow super like freely and creatively with our style, especially like you were saying. Like we wanna be experimental. We want to just make music that we love, and that we want to make. So you might hear like a couple wildly different vibes from us. But I think that's the cool thing about being independent and about starting a new project is just like having fun with it and experimenting and seeing what does well and what people resonate with.
Well, I'm so excited to see what you come up with. I know it's going to be awesome. And huge congrats on the EP. Thank you for being so generous with your time, guys, and joining us on V180.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks for taking time to listen to this audio on demand from Vision Christian Media. To find out more about us, go to vision.org.au.